The morning of my graduation from Columbia University, I woke up to 17 missed calls. All from my sister Melissa. I called back. What's wrong? Thank God. I need you to come to the salon right now. The contractor just told me the plumbing isn't ready, and we're supposed to open tomorrow and I'm completely losing it. Mel, my graduation is in 3 hours. I know, but this is an emergency. Can you come after? Like right after? Mom and Dad are already here helping me deal with this disaster. My stomach dropped. Mom and Dad are at the salon? They're supposed to be getting ready for the ceremony. Oh, about that. Melissa's voice got smaller. Mom wanted me to tell you that they might miss the actual ceremony part. But they'll definitely make the reception after. It's just that we have so much to handle here and your graduation is like 4 hours long anyway. 2 hours. The ceremony is 2 hours. Right, 2 hours. So they figured they could help me sort this out and then come celebrate with you after. You understand, right? This salon opening is my whole life. I've put everything into this. I sat on the edge of my bed, still in my pajamas, graduation gown hanging on the closet door. Does Mom want to talk to me? She's on the phone with the contractor. But she said to tell you congratulations and she's so proud of you. I hung up and stared at my phone. 4 years at Columbia. Summa cum laude. Double major in biochemistry and applied mathematics. Rhodes Scholarship finalist. MIT PhD program with full funding. And my family was going to skip the ceremony because my sister's salon had a plumbing problem. My phone rang again. Dean Richardson. Elena. Congratulations on your big day. I'm calling to confirm you'll be at the President's house at 2 p.m. for the reception. The reception? President Whitmore specifically requested time with you. She wants to discuss your Rhodes Scholarship and the MIT offer. There may be some additional opportunities she'd like to present. This is quite an honor. She only meets with a handful of graduates each year. My heart raced. Of course. I'll be there. Wonderful. And Elena, between you and me, I think she may want to discuss a research fellowship that could run concurrent with your PhD. Very prestigious. Very few candidates. Bring your thinking cap. After we hung up, I texted my parents. Dean just called. University president wants to meet with me at 2 p.m. Important discussion about Rhodes and MIT. Can you make it to graduation? It would mean a lot. Mom responded 20 minutes later. That's wonderful, honey. We'll definitely try to make it to the reception. Sister crisis right now, but we love you so much. Proud of you. I read the message 3 times. Try to make it. To meet the university president. To discuss opportunities that could shape my entire career. I got dressed slowly, pulled my hair into a neat bun, arranged my honor cords over my gown. The gold Rhodes Scholarship cord. The blue Phi Beta Kappa cord. The silver Summa Cum Laude cord. Each one representing years of work, sacrifice, countless all-nighters. My roommate Julia knocked on my door. Ready? My parents want to take photos before we head over. Julia's parents had flown in from Oregon. Her grandmother had come from Seattle. Her younger brother had driven up from Virginia. They'd reserved a table at an expensive restaurant for after the ceremony. Her mom had been crying happy tears since yesterday. Ready, I said. At the ceremony, I sat in my assigned seat in the sea of graduates. Around me, people waved to family members in the stands, took selfies, whispered excitedly. I scanned the crowd during the opening remarks, looking for my parents' faces. They weren't there. The keynote speaker talked about embracing challenges and reaching for excellence. About how our families sacrificed for us to be here. About making them proud. I checked my phone. No messages. When they called the Rhodes Scholars to stand for recognition, the auditorium erupted in applause. I stood with 4 other students. Julia's mom was crying. I could hear her from 3 rows back. The empty seats where my parents should have been seemed to glow. My phone buzzed. Mom, plumber is here. This is taking longer than expected. So proud of you, sweetie. Take lots of pictures. I turned my phone off. When they called my name, Elena Martinez, Summa Cum Laude, recipient of the Rhodes Scholarship, President's Research Medal. I walked across the stage alone. I shook President Whitmore's hand, accepted my diploma, smiled for the photographer. The applause felt distant, like it was happening to someone else. After the ceremony, Julia's family insisted I join their photos. Her dad put his arm around my shoulder. Your parents couldn't make it? Family emergency, I said, the lie automatic. That's too bad. But hey, you're coming to lunch with us, right? I checked my phone. 1:30 p.m. The president's reception was in 30 minutes. I have a meeting with the university president at 2. Julia's eyes went wide. Wait, seriously? President Whitmore. She wants to discuss some opportunities. That's incredible. What are you going to wear? You can't meet the president in your graduation gown. We raced back to the dorm. I changed into the interview suit I'd worn for my Rhodes Scholarship finalist interview. Navy blue, professional, the outfit I'd bought specifically for important occasions like this. At 1:55 p.m. I stood outside the president's house, a beautiful brownstone on the edge of campus. Dean Richardson met me at the door. Elena, perfect timing. President Whitmore is just finishing with another appointment. Come, let's wait in the library. The president's house library was exactly what you'd imagine. Floor-to-ceiling books, leather chairs, oil paintings of former university presidents. Dean Richardson made small talk about my research, my MIT plans, my Rhodes Project proposal. At 2:10, President Whitmore entered. She was in her 60s, sharp-eyed, with the kind of presence that commanded attention without demanding it. Elena Martinez. I've been looking forward to this conversation. He shook my hand firmly. Please sit. We settled into leather chairs. A staff member brought tea. I've been following your work since your sophomore year, President Whitmore began. Your research on protein folding mechanisms caught my attention. Then your work on applying machine learning to drug discovery. Then, of course, the Rhodes Scholarship. You've had a remarkable undergraduate career. Thank you, President Whitmore. I'll get straight to the point. I'm offering you a Presidential Research Fellowship. It's a new program I've been developing to retain our most exceptional graduates. Full funding for your PhD at MIT, plus an additional $100,000 over 4 years for your research. In exchange, you'd spend your summers here at Columbia, working with our faculty and mentoring undergraduates. I stared at her. $100,000 for research. That was extraordinary. Additionally, she continued, I've been speaking with colleagues at Oxford about your Rhodes project. There's potential for a collaborative arrangement. Summers at Columbia, your academic year at MIT, and research periods at Oxford. We're trying to keep you in the Columbia family while supporting your growth. Dean Richardson was smiling. This is unprecedented, Elena. The president has never structured a fellowship quite like this. I need an answer by next week, President Whitmore said. I know that's fast, but we need to formalize the paperwork before you leave for Oxford in the fall. Do you have questions? I had 1,000 questions. About the research, the mentoring, the logistics of splitting time between 3 institutions. But what came out was, why me? President Whitmore set down her tea. Because in 30 years of academic leadership, I've learned to recognize something special. You have the rare combination of brilliance, work ethic, and genuine passion for discovery. Students like you are why I do this job. So, Elena Martinez, will you accept? My phone buzzed in my purse. I ignored it. Yes, I said. Absolutely yes. President Whitmore's smile was genuine, warm. Excellent. Dean Richardson will handle the details. Now, I understand your family couldn't make it today. The question caught me off guard. There was an emergency. That's unfortunate. This is a day that should be celebrated. In fact, why don't you stay for the reception? We're hosting about 30 graduates and their families. The provost is here, several board members, some distinguished alumni. You should network. I don't have anyone with me. You have us, President Whitmore said simply. And believe me, the people here will want to meet you. The reception was held in the president's garden. White tents, catered food, a string quartet. It was beautiful and elegant and completely surreal. President Whitmore introduced me to everyone. Board members, major donors, faculty leaders. Each introduction came with a recitation of my achievements. This is Elena Martinez, our Rhodes Scholar. She'll be at MIT and Oxford. Groundbreaking research in computational drug discovery. A board member who'd founded a biotech company handed me his card. Call me when you're ready to talk about commercializing your research. I'm serious. An alumna who ran a venture capital firm pulled me aside. Presidential fellowship recipients are going places. Keep me in your network. At 4 p.m. my phone started buzzing repeatedly. I excused myself and checked the messages. Melissa, opening went great. Plumbing is fixed. Where are you? Mom wants to take you to dinner to celebrate. Mom, we're at the restaurant. Where are you, honey? We want to hear all about graduation. Dad, your mother is worried. Call us. I stared at the messages. They'd fixed the plumbing. They'd finished with Melissa's crisis. And now 2 hours after the ceremony ended they wanted to celebrate. I texted back. At reception with university president. Important meeting about my future. We'll call later. Mom's response was immediate. What reception? Why didn't you tell us? We could have come. I didn't respond. President Whitmore found me on the garden path. Everything all right? My family wants to know why I didn't tell them about the reception. She was quiet for a moment. Elena, I'm going to share something with you. When I was your age I won a significant fellowship. My father missed the award ceremony because my brother had a baseball game. He never understood why that hurt me. What did you do? I forgave him eventually. But I also learned that sometimes the people who are supposed to celebrate us the loudest are the ones who take our success most for granted. They assume we'll always be there, always achieving, so missing one ceremony doesn't seem like a big deal. But it is a big deal. Yes, it is. And you're allowed to feel that. I felt tears threatening. They chose a plumbing emergency over my graduation. They made a choice that prioritized convenience over presence. That says something about their values, not yours. I don't know what to do with that. You don't have to do anything right now. Today you graduated summa cum laude from Columbia University. You won a Rhodes Scholarship. You accepted a presidential fellowship. You impressed a room full of people who determine academic and professional futures. Those are facts that exist regardless of who witnessed them. He was right. But it still hurt. At 6 p.m. I finally left the reception. My phone had 17 new messages. Mom calling. Dad calling. Melissa asking where I was. Their tone shifting from confused to hurt to annoyed that I was ignoring them. I called Mom back. Elena. Finally. Where have you been? We've been waiting at the restaurant for 2 hours. I told you. I was at a reception with the university president. Well, you could have told us earlier. We would have come. Now we've been sitting here and Melissa is exhausted from the Salon crisis, and we just wanted to celebrate you. You wanted to celebrate me? Mom, you skipped my graduation ceremony. We didn't skip it. We had to handle an emergency. Your sister's entire business was on the line. And my Rhodes Scholarship discussion with the president wasn't important enough to show up for? Silence. That's not fair, Elena. You know we're proud of you. Do I? Because being proud and being present are different things, Mom. President Whitmore made time to meet with me today. The dean made time. Board members made time. The only people who didn't make time were my own family. You're being dramatic. We said we'd come to the reception. You didn't know there was a reception until I was already there. You assumed graduation was just the ceremony, just the 2 hours you could skip for Melissa's plumbing problem. You didn't even ask what else was happening today. More silence. I have to go, I said. I need to pack. I'm flying to DC tomorrow for Rhodes Scholarship orientation. Elena, wait. I hung up. Julia found me in our dorm room, shoving clothes into a suitcase. Hey, my family wants to know if you want to join us for dinner. Real offer, not pity. I'm not hungry. Okay, but my mom made me promise to tell you that you walked across that stage like a boss and she's adopting you as her honorary daughter. Her words, not mine. I laughed despite myself. Tell her thank you. She's serious. She already bought you a Columbia mom sweatshirt. It's happening whether you like it or not. That night, lying in bed, I let myself cry. Not because I'd failed. Not because I wasn't enough. But because I'd succeeded spectacularly, and the people who were supposed to care most had chosen not to witness it. My phone buzzed. A text from Dean Richardson. President Whitmore asked me to send you this. It was a photo from the reception. Me standing between President Whitmore and the provost, all three of us smiling. I was holding the Presidential Fellowship Certificate, wearing my honor cords. The caption, the Columbia family celebrates Elena Martinez, Rhodes Scholar and Presidential Fellow. We're proud to call her one of ours. President Whitmore had posted it to the official Columbia Instagram. Already had 3,000 likes. My mom called. I sent it to voicemail. She texted, Dad and I saw the post. We had no idea. Elena, I'm so sorry. We should have been there. I stared at the message for a long time before responding, yes, you should have. 3 days later at Rhodes Scholarship orientation in DC, I met the other scholars. One woman from Stanford told me her parents had flown in from India for her graduation. Another guy from Princeton said his grandmother had driven 8 hours to watch him walk across the stage. When they asked about my graduation, I told them the truth. My family chose my sister's salon opening over my ceremony. But the university president offered me a fellowship, so I guess it worked out. The Stanford woman looked horrified. That's awful. It's clarifying, I said. I know now who shows up for me and who doesn't. And somehow saying it out loud made it true. Not okay, not healed, but true. Over the summer, my relationship with my family stayed strained. They wanted to move past it. Can't we just focus on the future? But I needed them to understand the present first. In August, the week before I left for Oxford, Mom came to my apartment. I brought you something. She handed me a wrapped frame. Inside was the photo from President Whitmore's Instagram. My mom had printed it, matted it, framed it professionally. I should have been in this photo, she said, her voice breaking. I should have been there to see this moment. I'm so sorry, Elena. Why did you choose the salon? Because Melissa was panicking and you're always so capable. You're always fine. I assumed you'd be fine without us there. I wasn't fine, Mom. I was heartbroken. I know. I see that now. She wiped her eyes. I don't know how to fix this. You can't fix it. It happened. But you can show up going forward. Actually show up, not just say you'll try. I will. Starting now. What time is your flight on Saturday? 6 a.m. I'll be there at 4 to drive you to the airport. Mom, you don't have to. Yes, I do. I let you walk across that stage alone. I'm not letting you get on that plane alone. She kept her word. At 4 a.m. on Saturday, she pulled up to my apartment. She carried my bags, bought me coffee, waited with me through security delays. At the gate, she hugged me tight. I'm proud of you, Elena. Not just for the Rhodes Scholarship or the fellowship or MIT. I'm proud of who you are. And I'm sorry it took me this long to show it properly. Thank you for being here now. Always. From now on, always. She wasn't there for my graduation. She couldn't undo that absence. But she was there for my departure, and that was a start. Because sometimes the people who love us have to learn how to show up. And sometimes we have to teach them that our achievements matter, even when they seem inevitable. I walked across that stage alone. But I didn't stay alone.